will always love you, and I'll always love you. Hey guys, Stevo here for Movies and TVs on the Ball. And what do you get when you cross Nick Fury and Deadpool in a movie? You finally get The Hitman's Bodyguard, a film that was directed by Patrick Hughes, who directed Expendables 2 back in 2010. And this film stars, also stars Selma Hayek and Gary Oldman as the villain. This film takes place, basically the story goes is that Ryan Reynolds at the beginning of the film, he's a bodyguard for this Asian president, and he takes him to he guards him to a plane where he thinks he has a successful drop off when the plane explodes and Ryan Reynolds becomes excommunicado and ends up kind of depressed and into kind of this moment of silence. Cut to, you gotta have like sort of three things. You have that, then you cut to Samuel L. Jackson, who's in prison, and he's on parole. He gets off parole, and and the government wants to help him catch Gary Oldman, who is this evil European dictator guy. And we find out that both him, Samuel L. Jackson, and Ryan Reynolds have to kind of team up to kind of find Gary Oldman, and that's the basis of the story. This film, I like it because I think Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds really do have chemistry together. They have, a real sort of, great chemistry together, and they work well off each other. It's the buddy cop. I don't want to work with this guy. I don't like this working with this guy. Let's work together. You have Selma Hayek, who plays Samuel L. Jackson's wife, who's in prison, and he makes a deal that if he helps Ryan Reynolds, she gets out of prison. The adventure kind of assumes this film really works as a kind of a really good buddy comedy. I think that Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds are really good for each other in this movie. I think that the story's really lackluster. I think I did, I had to watch it a couple times just to kind of know what the plot, kind of really follow on the plot. But after a while, I kind of get it. This movie kind of feels like you're kind of there to watch Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds really sort of buddy up and become a comedy. This is a pretty good movie for what it is. I would probably think of it more of a matinee film for me than really I could probably, watch this film as a matinee and then, kind of review it. It's not, I think the comedy works. I think the chemistry works, but the storyline was kind of like, I could barely follow along. There's, scenes where Samuel L. Jackson and just Ron Reynolds work just their magic together, but that's kind of this is more of a quick review of Netflix night, and I wanted to kind of talk about this film because I saw this in theaters on a weekend and on a weekday when it came out in 2017, and it's a good film for what it is, but it's not as strong. I think if this plot was a little bit more concise, I think Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds works really well together in this movie, but the plot was just a little bit could have been better. So I'd probably have to give it, with the chemistry part, I'd give it an 8. with the story part, I'd give it probably a 6. But that's kind of my look at the Hitman's Bodyguard. I think it's a strong film. You know, it did come out with a sequel 2 years later. I think this film came out in 2017. I think the sequel came out in 2021, I think. And so it has legs to move, but I felt like this film, if the plot was a little bit better, I think it works great. But what you sacrifice in plot, you get in a real good chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson and Samuel L. Jackson and Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. So that's my look at the Hitman's Bodyguard. If there's anything you liked about it, let me know in the comments below. And as always, like and subscribe. Peace.